Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, feel a wonderful sensation of relaxation, relaxing the tiny muscles around your eyes, around your jaw, and feeling clues that tension or any kind of stress are leaving your body in that outward breath. And when you breathe in again, just choose to breathe in slightly deeper than the breath before, but not just breathing in oxygen. Feel that you're breathing in a wonderful feeling of resourcefulness. And that resourcefulness can represent whatever resources you need most right now. And that could be relaxation, but it could be balance, it could be strength, it could be optimism and positivity. So allow your mind to acknowledge that when you breathe in, you're breathing what you need. And when you exhale, you are releasing all that you don't need. Any worries, concerns, any frustrations or stress, just feel it detach and leave your body in that outward breath. The deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you become. And I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine being in a volcanic crater long since dormant. There are trees and plants growing in the crater. But just get a sense that you are far away from normal reality. Get a sense of the tranquility, the calm. And I want you to imagine right at the bottom of that crater is a tree. And that tree has a fruit or vegetable, either connected to the tree or close by on a nearby plant. And I want you to get a sense that there is something in that plant that has healing properties. So imagine plucking, picking, or taking that plant. And as you bite into it, feel an immediate impact of the healing properties of that plant. Continue to eat the plant and just feel that it's working its magic on your body. An ancient species of plant in a volcanic crater, powered by rainwater and sunshine, already starting to have a healing impact on your body. But this crater is so big. Just imagine an ancient civilization built a hut there at the bottom of this crater. And as you go inside, I want you to imagine that there is an old book on an old table. And imagine how you would feel to flick through the pages of the book until you see a drawing of an old mirror. And when you see the drawing of the old mirror, a full-length mirror that seems to be an antique of some kind, imagine stepping into the book and seeing a full-length mirror, no longer in a hut in a crater, but now accessing a world inside a book. And I want you to imagine that this full-length mirror is to you what the looking glass was to Alice. Not just a mirror, but a portal. And this happens to be a portal to one of infinite past lives. I want you to imagine staring into the mirror and seeing currently yourself in the reflection. Stare at one of your eyes, not the pupil but the iris. Stare into the eye in the reflection of a magical mirror inside a book. Breathe in deeper, breathe out for longer. Stare at the iris of that reflection and notice that the iris stays the same, but now the people connected to the iris are changing. As you imagine a carousel of different people from history, and I want you to imagine how you would feel if you were looking for a past life of someone that experienced a serious illness and recovered from that illness. Keep the iris the same and the people continue to change like a carousel of images, and allow it to stop when you find a past life from a time in history of someone that had a serious illness and then recovered from it. And when you find that past life, let me know by nodding your head. And just as Alice stepped through the looking glass, do the same. Fixate on the iris and step into it, so your eyes become their eyes, and find yourself in a past life, at a point in history, in a moment in time. And I want you to rewind that past life to a point in their life before the illness, when they were healthy and happy and full of vitality. And when you're at that place, let me know by nodding your head. And just experience your surroundings. Experience perhaps a town or a village, maybe nature or farmland. Get a sense of what age you're living in by the clothing and the type of buildings you're surrounded by. Just get a sense that you are back in time, enjoying life, and then move forward in time to a point where you discover some kind of undesirable illness. Maybe that was diagnosed by yourself or by someone that knew what to look for, and yet you meet this news not with devastation or anxiety, but with an open mind, a perception that somehow this was meant to happen in this way. That the diagnosis was a catalyst for change. Positive, empowering change. And feel that it becomes intuitive and natural for you to make new choices, new decisions, new priorities, and get a sense that you're experiencing that you are meeting this news and this revelation with an open heart. That you are uncovering a past life where you faced and will overcome this illness with strength and determination. As you make the evaluation that in this past life you found the power within yourself to heal, and maybe there was many parts to that healing, perhaps combining relaxation, balance, mindfulness, and positive thinking. You found it within yourself to look for the positive, and then notice in the days and weeks that followed how natural it was for you to make positive life changes, and that with those life changes, something about your energy, your mood, and your emotions shifted. And you had this intuitive feeling that it was leading to your slow and steady improvement. Think of the food that you were eating back then, and notice how it shifted towards healthy plant-based foods. So imagine that diet rich in healthy, nutritious plant-based foods, with some knowledge that they provide the nourishment that your body needed to heal. Some people would be stressed and worried in that situation, but feel that you were calm and tranquil and at peace. Feel the calming effects of deep relaxation, allowing your body to rest and recover with each breath. No regrets about the past and no worries about the future. In this life, feel mindful that your default was to stay present in each moment, appreciating the small steps towards recovery and noticing signs of progress. That it became intuitive for you to find balance in all areas of your life, helping you to align your body, mind, and spirit in perfect harmony. And part of that balance was the people around you, friends, a relationship, family. Feel that sense of community and support assist your healing journey. And maybe there was spiritual, perhaps even religious contributions to your healing journey, and if they were in that past life, experience them. Whatever helped that past life, imagine it helping you as you re-experience this past life. Imagine the food that you were eating, perhaps fresh, vibrant, colorful foods, packed with nutrients, powered by sunshine and rainwater. And you get this intuitive feeling that they were contributing to your healing journey. as days turn into weeks, have a sense that these choices are helping you heal. That each bite of nutritious food you eat fills you with strength, vitality, and the power to heal from within. It is the default for the human body to heal itself. And when you give it the right nutrition, the body will heal itself. Imagine drinking pure, clean water, feeling like it's flushing out toxins and renewing your cells. No need for excessive eating. Small, healthy portions, freeing up that digestive energy to help the healing process. Day by day, positive thinking just becomes natural. Not that there isn't negative thoughts, but when they occur, quickly they're replaced with empowering and healing affirmations. As you feel a deep sense of peace, knowing that your body is capable of incredible healing. Maybe the worries, the concerns, the sadness of people around you don't seem to affect you. There's almost a protective force field around you to keep you in that healing space. Imagine your cells absorbing all the beneficial nutrients from the plant-based foods you consume. And this past life is finding joy, preparing and helping other people to also learn about these nutritious foods. This joy and contribution only adds to the speed of your healing. And notice that every time you see even a tiny improvement, it unlocks gratitude. Most people would accept the idea that stress and anxiety can lead to illness. So wouldn't it also be true that gratitude, appreciation, positivity would lead to recovery and healing? Before you sleep each night, you imagine that your body is becoming stronger, that your cells are healing, that you will wake up the next day more vibrant than the last, thanks to the choices that you're making day by day. Mindfulness is a reflection of attention which leads to gratitude. You could be grateful of a single breath, a single bite of nutritious food. Focus your attention on what you notice, and what you notice feels like it's helping, as it creates a positive loop of ever increasing levels of healing. What is meditation to one person might be quiet reflection to another, or just solitude to someone else. But feel this is part of your life back then. Time alone just to think, but somehow the thinking helps. And feel the positive energy from the earth as you eat plant-based foods. The nutrition from the soil, the energy from the sun, the water from rainwater, creating a cocktail of health and healing designed for you to get better. And then imagine the days turn into weeks, and whatever symptoms were there seem to ease. You feel with more energy, and any visible signs of illness seem to be fading away day by day, week by week. And then experience what some people would call recovery. But one day the symptoms get so tiny and insignificant that it's impossible for you to make an evaluation that you're sick. And therefore, in the absence of illness, you must be healed, you must be healthy. So feel that now you're waking up day after day, healthy and free from illness, but not complacent. All of those healthy choices you made while you were healing, you continue when you are healed. Why would you discover all of these wonderful insights and principles and then go back to how things were before? Feel that not only are you healed, but you're improved because of the illness. It gave you a new level of appreciation and gratitude, a new sense of empowerment, a feeling that you accept those things you can't control, but control those things you can, and that the true sense of freedom comes from within. Your thoughts, your emotions, your choices. Feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude, empowerment, and positivity. And at that point, notice a mirror seems to reappear. And as you look in the mirror, initially you see the reflection of you in the past life, but then that changes to you in your current life, and yet the eyes and the iris is the same. When the time's right, you step into the mirror, into your current body, in a cabin or hut, the bottom of a crater, but take all of those healing feelings with you into the moment. And when you leave that cabin, that hut, take another bite of that healing plant, feeling it's having an immediate impact on you. And take all of this and feel like it's time to return to the present. As you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, connect fully into the present moment. That's it. As I now count from 1 to 10, you will awaken feeling that everything you need to transfer from that past life is transferring into your present life with a new sense of positivity, optimism, and a deep belief that you are on a similar journey to that past life. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.